Hello, good evening, beautiful people.
Good evening.
It is so good to be here with you. It is so good to see each and every one of you as we take this time tonight to set the tone, to set the intention and vibration for 2021. We're starting early so that you can do whatever you would like to do later on this evening. But we're going to make sure that we plant the seeds in a beautiful and intentional way. And so, with that, as we always do, let us begin with prayer. I invite you just right here and now to just center yourselves. Center yourselves by taking a deep breath in and a breath out. And again, we breathe in and we breathe out. And from this place of awareness, I remember and recognize that there is only one mind, only one power, only one presence, only one law, only one life that is working in all, through all, and as all. I recognize that that life is my life now. I recognize that that life is your life now. I recognize it is the thing that we live, move, and have our being in, and it is the thing that lives, moves, and has its beingness in, through, and as us. It is all power, all the power there is to be, do, or have anything. It is all wisdom, all knowledge. It is every answer. It is every solution. It neither comes nor goes. It is right here, right now. I remember and recognize that we are one with it and one of it, created in its likeness and image. I remember and recognize that we can never be separate or separated from this power. What can separate us from the very love of God, the very presence of God? Nothing. Nothing, nothing. And so it is out of this awareness that I speak this word for this time that we gather together, knowing that not only is this a time of intention, not only is it a time of gratitude, not only is it a time of sowing seeds that will bloom and grow in 2021, but I know that this is a time of transformation, that we come together to love on each other, to celebrate together, and to transform, to become that which life, which love, which God is seeking to become in, through, and as us. This is a time of saying yes. This is a time of allowing that which is emerging to be in, through, and as us. So we celebrate, and so I release this prayer with joy, gratitude, and thanksgiving, knowing that it is already met and received. And together we say, Amen,
Amen.
Ashe,
Ashe.
and so it is.
So it is.
So it is. Yes, yes.
So it is.
Well, again, we say welcome. Again, we say hello and good evening. I have to keep catching myself.
I know, I want to say morning. I'm like, good morning.
But it is so very good to be here with you. And we recognize that there may be someone here that's here for the very first time. And if you are a first-time guest, welcome. We're happy that you chose to take this time, this intentional time, to be with us this evening. And we would love to stay in touch with you. And so if you would like to stay in touch with us, all you have to do is text the word welcome to the number here on your screen, 347-472-1078. Please just text the word welcome. No additional information, emojis, or signatures. Just the word welcome. You'll receive a link. Click that link, enter your information, and you're on our mailing list. It's very easy, very simple. And again, we appreciate you being here. We see that folks are already shouting themselves out where they're connected in from. We know that folks are connecting in from all over the country, and we see folks are just everywhere. I saw some shout out from Mexico and Vegas, and I know Brooklyn's in the house. I think I saw Tennessee is in the house, and it's a beautiful thing. So we're happy to be here with you. We do have a few announcements that we want to highlight. We really don't want to be heavy on announcements this evening. Some of them you saw in the in the welcome and the countdown, but we do want to highlight a couple things. So we will get those out of the way so that we can move into some more intentional things. So the first thing we want you to know is that we are having, we do a toast every year when we're in person, and so we're still going to do that toast virtually. So grab whatever beverage you have and would like to toast with, and join us. If you're already on our mailing list, please just check check your email because the information went out, and the link and the password to connect to the Zoom room is available there. If you are just joining our mailing list, I'll make sure that I get that information out to you. Normally, I would set something up automated, and I didn't do that. But for those that join our mailing list this evening, I will get that information to you if you would like to be in the Zoom room. So that will start ideally around 9 o'clock. Thinking, well, this is usually about a 90-minute service, so we should be done about 8:30. We'll take a little 30-minute break, and then we'll come together at 9 o'clock for the toast. Okay. The other thing we want you to know about is that starting in January, the first Monday in January, we begin our annual month of prayer. So for the month of January, we pray every morning at 7 a.m. from Monday through Friday. And that will start on the first Monday in January. All the information is here. There's also a playback number. It will be recorded. It is a high vibration. It's something I highly encourage you to participate in because it's a great way to begin the year. It's a great way to just be in the vibration of powerful prayer. And again, we're keeping the announcements very short and sweet. As we have shared in the previous weeks, we wanted to take some time to remember our loved ones, to remember those who have transitioned, to remember those who have transitioned because of COVID. Make sure y'all can see us. Those who have transitioned due to COVID. As a nation, we are reeling. Of course, the United States has the most deaths, over 330,000. Over 3,000 people are dying a day in this country. And yet also we recognize that there are hundreds of thousands of people all over the globe that have transitioned from something that wasn't a reality last year, wasn't something you could transition from or contract. And so we wanted to take some time to speak the names of those that are connected to our community in some way, connected to you in some way. And so we are grateful that many of you have given us names, and we're going to read those names, but also it's important for us to realize that for every name that we speak, there are thousands more. And so as we invoke these names, as we speak their names and their locations, know that we are actually speaking and honoring the names of so many more. I'm sure there are many of you that weren't able to get the names in or forgot about it. That's okay. Because with every name we speak, we are honoring everyone. Now, after we read the names, we have a reading. It's a call and response reading. And so you'll see it. It'll appear on the screen. I'll read one part of the reading, and then it'll say all, and you will read the second part. And although we can't hear each other together, I feel and sense the resounding beauty of what it sounds like for all of us to speak this together. And so to be very clear, you'll see it on the screen. I'll speak, then you speak. PY will speak, then you speak, right?
And it's important that we wanted to create a vibration. And so as we prepare to read the names, maybe close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, center yourself. And this ritual of honoring those who have become ancestors is so important. And making sure that we all can participate in it is equally important.
Absolutely.
And that's why we've created this ritual, which will enable us all to participate. Everyone take a few deep breaths, center yourself, close your eyes, breathe in, breathe out, open your eyes, and stand as a witness for those who have gone on, our ancestors now.
Idris Bey, Brooklyn, New York.
Dean Coulter, Jr., Plainfield, New Jersey.
Barbara Cook, Jersey City, New Jersey.
Cecil Corbin Mark, Harlem, New York.
Janet Ellis, Brooklyn, New York.
Kimberly Fischetti, Washington, D.C.
Dr. Kirk Gaddy, Baltimore, Maryland.
Floyd Hicks, Brooklyn, New York.
Tommy Lee James, Jr., Altamonte Springs, Florida.
Gail Jones, Bronx, New York.
Avis Kelly, Washington, D.C.
Vernon C. Manley, New York, New York.
Edwin Okra, Accra, Ghana, West Africa.
Lloyd Porter, Brooklyn, New York.
Lloyd Cornelius Porter, Brooklyn, New York.
Jeanette Reyes, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Leroy A. Smith, Newark, New Jersey.
Lawrence Smith, Jr., Newark, New Jersey.
Nathan Thompson, Bronx, New York.
Whitfield Todd, Bronx, New York.
Laura Bell Watkins, Las Vegas, Nevada.
And Kimberly Wetzel, Brooklyn, New York.
At the rising of the sun and at its going down, we remember them.
We remember them. At the blowing of the wind and the chill of winter,
We remember them. At the opening of buds in the rebirth of spring, we remember them.
At the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn,
We remember them. In the beginning of the year and when it ends, we remember them. So long as we live, they too shall live, for they are now a part of us, as we remember them. Amen. Ashe. And so it is.
Everyone, as we move into the next portion of our service today, it is time for meditation. And as I allow myself to feel and release and remember, I know that you are as well. This month, we've been focusing on the truth of all of us. And our meditation affirmation this month is God's joy and peace are mine. In times like this, we sometimes forget that God's joy and peace are ours. And we sometimes feel as if we are holding on to the past, and that prevents us from allowing the truth of these words to sink deeply within us and propel us into the future. So this meditation experience will be a little different tonight. We're going to do a release meditation, releasing the year, releasing anything that we've been holding on to, so that we can be receptive to the truth of these words, so that we can allow these words to guide us into 2021. As we release what we've been holding, sometimes it feels like we've been holding it for so long that we didn't even remember we were holding it. For example, clench your fist right now. Clench them really tight. Harder, harder, harder. Now release. See and notice and feel the sensation of release. That's what we're after today. No longer holding on to anything that would keep us from receiving. We cannot receive in a closed fist. And so as we release during this meditation, we will relax our bodies. We will place those things that we need to let go of onto the altar of truth, the place where love and God reside. And in its place, we will accept the reality that God's peace and joy are ours. So, go ahead and find a comfortable seat. Whether you are in your home, in a chair, on the sofa, in your bed, wherever you are, look around. Notice where you are. Remind yourself that you are safe. Settle in and close your eyes. And as we close our eyes, we let go of holding on. We let go and we allow our bodies to relax a little more. With our eyes closed, we notice from the inside how safe and connected we are to the divine. With our eyes closed, we examine from the inside, without judgment, our breath. Whether the breath appears to be deep or it appears to be shallow, we acknowledge with gratitude that the breath is still flowing. Take a few rounds to just notice and be in gratitude for the flow of breath. And now, let's begin to take conscious control, collective control as a community of the breath, of the energy, and of the truth that God's joy and peace are ours. As we prepare to breathe together, no rush, just relaxation, just allowing, just honoring. Now, bring your focus to the low belly. Inhale into the low belly. Inhale for a count of 4. Now. Hold it there. Count of 4. Open the mouth, relax the jaw, and let the breath go. Again, inhale into the low belly. Hold it at the top for a count of 4. Open the mouth and let it go. Expanding our breath, moving it from the low belly in and up through the rib cage. Inhaling, count of 4. Hold for a count of 4. And release for a count of 4. It feels good to move the breath together. Inhale, in and up, expanding the front and the sides and the back of the body. Hold it there. And release. Count to 4. Now let's expand that breath, elongating it, inhaling all the way in and up, bringing it up to the heart chakra, center of the chest, expanding across the chest, across the back. Hold it there. And release, nice and easy. Count to 4. One more round. Inhale in and all the way up to the heart, to the altar of the divine, where love resides, where healing is available. Hold it there. And release. Count to 4. Now, take a few rounds of breath on your own, breathing in through the mouth and the nose, closing the lips, and on the exhale, only exhaling through the nose. God's joy and peace are mine. Today, I allow this to be the truth of my life. God's joy and peace are mine. I no longer block this truth. I allow it to be real, available for me. And now, let's send the energy of breath, the pranayama, flowing into the feet. Relax the feet. Energy gathered beneath us begins to flow unobstructed through the soles of the feet, and on its path upward, we relax the ankles. Energy flows up across the shins and the calves. Relax the shins and the calves. Energy flows across the knees. We surrender and make ourselves even more available. Relax the knees. Energy flows across the thighs, making its way towards the hips. Relax the thighs, the hamstrings, the glutes. And now we feel the energy collecting at the base of the spine. We give it permission to make its way as Kundalini rises, always grounding us and elevating us in all aspects of our lives. Energy flows up, 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 out the crown of our head, and gathers above us as a witness to the truth that God's joy and peace are mine. And as it is a cycle, we allow the energy to flow back down through our crown, activating and opening our third eye, our intelligence, our wisdom, our power, moving down, opening our throat chakra, flowing across our shoulders and down our arms, out our fingertips. We give permission. We surrender. We let go of what we've been holding. Turning the palms down, feeling the connection, feeling grounded. Let's breathe in and out, balancing the energy now with the breath. Inhaling, breathing in and up the right side, holding it at the top, exhaling down the left side. Inhaling up the left side. Holding at the top, exhaling down the right. Inhaling up. Holding at the top, exhaling down the left side. Inhaling up. Holding at the top, exhaling down the right side. Take a few rounds here on your own to balance and feel the energy moving up and down, supporting us, rocking us, nurturing us, holding us. Last round. Beautiful, everyone. Bringing that energy front and center. Feeling the balance, the masculine and the feminine operating. Now bring your focus to your heart chakra. See the altar of God there. Place whatever you've been holding this year in that altar of love. And as we go into our silent time, release, allow, and accept the truth that God's joy and peace are mine. I will monitor the time. You let it all go. Now. With our eyes still closed, we notice what has been holding us down. We notice, we allow, we release it onto the altar. Any grievances, any sadness, any anger, any frustration, any emotion that would block us from remembering the truth of our being. We let them go now and place them on the altar of love. In your mind, see that eternal flame and see everything that you placed in that flame being consumed, released. Notice your body. Notice the sensation of release. And remember, God's peace and joy are mine. I no longer block it. I allow it. And I allow the energy of this truth to guide me into the new year. Whenever I forget, whenever I feel constricted or burdened, I remember the time. I remember the altar that I carry with me, where I can release at any time. There is enough love, power, and truth to hold it. You don't have to. And as we begin to bring ourselves back, turn your back on what you have left behind, knowing that it is taken care of, held, and a new space has been created within you to journey on into the new year. Each step reminds you. Each breath secures you. And each hour and minute, you are held in the light of love. Start to make your return unencumbered, relaxed, open, and available to God's joy and peace. Slowly begin to rub the tops of the thighs and maybe the knees. Begin to wake the body slowly, eyes closed. Maybe wiggle the fingers and the toes, whatever signal your body needs that it's okay, that you are connected and more powerful than before. Stop the movement. Bring the palms together at heart center, lightly touching the thumbs into the sternum right there at the heart chakra, that altar of love, that altar of healing, that altar of power. Bow your chin towards your fingertips, feeling the release at the base of the neck and along the spine. Bowing to the truth within us, bowing to those who have gone before us, bowing to the light that will continue to guide us, and honoring our connection to each other and to the joy and peace of God. Slowly flutter the eyes open, taking in a point in front of you on the floor. Inhale with a nice soft gaze. Raise the chin. Raise the gaze. Release the breath. Namaste.
Thank you, Pastor Yolanda.
You're welcome.
Beautiful, beautiful New Year's Eve meditation. We're going to get into some music. We're going to get into a song from Soul 21 in just a minute. But before we do that, and I promise you don't want to miss this song, we are also, I'm going to just bring a very short thought. I don't like to be long on New Year's Eve. We're going to lead you all through an exercise to prepare you for the new year. And so I encourage you now, if you don't already have pen and paper nearby, to run and do that now. Run real quick, look around, find that pen or pencil, a highlighter, whatever you can find. Pull out your journal, pull out a couple sheets of paper, run to your printer and get paper, wherever the paper is, right? I'm
right
giving you some time.
Whatever.
Giving you some time, right? If it needs to be the back of an envelope, because again, I want you to hear the song, but I also want to make sure that you're prepared for the exercise. So, as you are running to get what you need, turn up the volume, and we're going to hear from Soul 21, and then I will come to you with a very short thought. There's a message and song that we've been conveying over the past few weeks that I think is just something that we all need to continuously hear. A few weeks ago we said, I expect the good, always expect the good. Last week we sang, things are always working out for me. And this week we are saying it another way. Your latter will be greater than the rest, and the best is yet to come. I absolutely know that there is someone here that needs to hear the truth in the words of this song. It does not matter what happened throughout your life from then to now. It does not matter what happened yesterday. It does not matter what happened last week or last year. No matter what has happened, there is good on the other side of it. The affirmation I love, our prayer champion, Darla, I don't think she's here today, nothing but good can come from this. And so as we live in that vibration, that is why we can affirm the best is yet to come.
Better than what's right now. Your And so the power and possibility of this affirmation, if you don't take any other part of this song with you, I invite you to take this part with you. It simply says, the best is yet to come. Nothing but good can come from this. Even if your life is good right now, my sister, my brother, there's more. There is gooder and gooder. There is better and better. There is best and bestest. And best and bestest. And so we live in the truth and know that life is not finished and life is not fixed. But there is good on the way. Oh, the best is yet to come. The best is yet to come. Yes, it is, yeah. The best is yet to come. Oh, the best is yet.
Wow, wow, wow. Lord have mercy. I'm going to give you all just a minute. I'm going to give you a minute to just get yourself together. As I get myself together, I told you to get a piece of paper and a pen. I didn't tell you to get some tissues. But I know the vibration of this song. I know the vibration of the song in this moment. And it just hits us right where we need to be hit right in this moment. Thank you, Soul 21. So grateful and thankful to our brother Israel Holfton and his co-writers of that song, because it is speaking to us so beautifully. And I'm sure there are many churches around this country that will be singing this song as we move into the new year, if not tonight, in the coming weeks and coming months. Your ladder will be greater than the rest. Despite all that has been done, the best is yet to come, because all things are absolutely possible. Well, again, it is good to be here with each and every one of you this evening. It is good to be here on this New Year's Eve as we are embracing and anticipating the clock striking midnight in just a few hours. And we will be firmly planted in 2021. Now, as I said, I want to share just a brief thought, a brief idea with you. And it's really related to this song. As I was listening to the song today, it messed me up. Oh Lord, PY can tell you, I was a blubbering mess, and I was trying to keep myself composed, and I was trying to explain to her what was going on, because she just saw me crying. She didn't know what was happening, and every time I tried to explain it, I just couldn't. There was so much emotion that was welling up inside of me. And as I was finally able to communicate to her what was happening, there were these two pieces that were happening for me. One, there was the experience of the weight of the year, particularly being in leadership. We've held a lot, and we've needed to hold a lot. And so in that moment, the aspiration of hope that your ladder will be greater, and the recognition that we are seeing the seeds of hope, and the recognition that we can really see a path forward for being able to gather together in 2021, and we can see a path forward for being able to gather with our family and friends, and being able to hug each other and be in the same space with each other in ways that are meaningful and ways that we're used to. All of that was I was feeling the weight, but also feeling immense gratitude and the power of the hope, the power of that statement, the best is yet to come, the power of that knowingness that nothing but good can come from this, the power of the assurity that I stand in that absolute knowing now, just as I said it on that day. I still stand in that absolute knowing that the best is yet to come, that this thing is not fixed or finished. And it just worked on me. And what I recognized is that I was experiencing the power of hope, what the wonderful Christmas song calls the thrill of hope. It's one of the reasons that we celebrate the time of Christmas and the holiday season, O Holy Night. The song says, the thrill of hope, a weary world rejoices. And that's what I was feeling and experiencing in that moment, that feeling the weariness, because we're all weary to some degree, right, to some level. But there was a thrill of hope that song was giving me and reminding me of. There was a thrill of hope that was reminding me that the best is yet to come, that was reminding me that there's something ahead of us that is better, that this thing will end, that we will get through this, that we are nowhere near the beginning of it. We may be in the middle, but it's clear. There's a clear path to a brighter day, to a new experience. And, we've talked about hope a bit this year, in studying and reading The Sun Does Shine together. We talked about hope, and even in the Working with the Law series, we talked about hope in another context. And one of the things that I said earlier this year about hope is that hope is the equivalent of breathing. That many times when we're in despair, when we're weary, when we feel like all is lost or we're just not sure, that's the equivalent of holding our breath. One of the things I shared with my colleagues at the human rights organization that I work at, we've been going through a lot of different things as an organization and as a team this year. And one of the things that I shared in one of our gatherings, I said it feels like as a team we're holding our breath. Right? We want change to happen. We want some type of restitution. We want things to change, but it hasn't happened. And we were waiting months for things to happen. And it felt like we were all just holding our breath. But we wanted to be able to breathe. We wanted to be able to exhale. We wanted to feel that thrill of hope. And I believe that as we are here at the end of the year, each and every one of us are experiencing that thrill of hope, right? People are just excited in general every time we come to the end of the year and that we have the promise of the new year. But the promise of the new year is bigger and greater and more expansive and more expected for all human beings, as we want 2021 to be the end of the pandemic, as we want 2021 to be the beginning of our regathering, as we want 2021 to be the beginning of our new normal, in-person normal. And so there's a thrill of hope that always exists. And again, as I said, that hope is like breathing again, which is very important as we consider and think about the murder of our dear brother George Floyd. And while many people have taken on that mantra of I can't breathe, understandably, well, we know and understand that as metaphysicians, that's problematic. One of the things that I've been affirming, and a song that I just a chant that I have in my head is just, we are breathing now, we are breathing now. I see justice rolling down, we are breathing now, right? I'm affirming what I want to see, that justice is rolling down like a mighty stream, and we are breathing now. So let's breathe again. Breathing now, let's breathe again. We are breathing now. And so as that thrill of hope is just like breathing, what becomes very critical for us to think about as we're moving into 2021 is, how do we maintain that thrill? Because you see, the thrill of hope, hope is wonderful and necessary. I quote Ernest Holmes all the time, that where he writes that, hope is better than despair, right? But it's an unconscious compromise, right? We can't just stay at hope, but it is an important starting point. And so what's important for us to understand as we're moving into 2021 is to have that spark, that thrill of hope, and now we need to nurture it. Because you see, the thrill of hope is just like a little seedling that has burst through the ground. It's a signal of something, but it's not the thing yet, right? It's a signal of the vegetable it may become. If it's a tomato plant that's bursting through the ground, right? It's a signal of the cucumber it would become. It's a signal of the orange tree or the apple tree or the lemon tree that it would become. But it's not the thing yet. And so what's interesting about the thrill of hope, and as we are in the thrill of hope moving into 2021, there's some things that we need to do to make sure that we are nurturing that thrill of hope so that it becomes and grows and blossoms into the fullness of the thing that we want it to be. Right? If we do not do those things, if we do not, if we simply just live in the thrill of hope, we ain't gonna have the thing that we hope for. And so I was reminded of a book that I love, and I've shared this some years ago, and definitely if you've been in any of my classes, I've shared it because it's something that's, I just think, so important. But it's a book, Change or Die, by Alan Deutschman. And he outlines 3 things that are needed in order to change. What I would offer in this context is that these very 3 things are the things that are needed in order to maintain that thrill, so that you're watering that plant and nurturing it so that it becomes full grown and mature and beneficial, right? And can multiply itself and can sustain you and others, right? And so there are 3 words that what he offers in Change or Die, that in order to change, and again, I believe in order to move from hope to knowing, is we need to relate, repeat, and reframe. And the context of this is so very important because Celebration Spiritual Center really supports you in doing these things, right? As all of us gather together weekly, as we take classes, and maybe you're working with us one-on-one in coaching, we relate, we repeat, and we reframe. So the first thing is to take this hope, to take this seedling that you have, this thrill, this spark that you have of moving into 2021, thinking about the possibility of being moved to tears when you hear the affirmation, the best is yet to come. Being moved to tears, as I was, when you hear the affirmation, all things are possible. Being reminded of this truth, that my latter will be greater than the rest. First, I need to relate. I need to connect myself to people, places, things, a community that are relatable, right? That is a place of love. That is a place of community and communion. That is a place of gathering. Now, even as we are in virtual spaces, that's still possible. That's important. You cannot just have a thrill of hope move into 2021 and be out here somewhere by yourself and think that thrill of hope is going to maintain and build. I'm hearing another metaphor, like a larger fire. Any Survivor fans out there? There's that wonderful fire challenge, right? And I'm laughing. I hope somebody loves Survivor out there. But there's that wonderful fire challenge, right? Where you gotta get that fire started. But even once you get it started, you get a spark. You gotta bring all the little kindling in together. You bring it all together so you can build the larger flame, right? Burn the rope and lift the flag, right? And so this thrill of hope is just the spark. It's important. The spark is powerful. The spark had me in a blubbering mess this afternoon. But I recognize that that's not enough. I have to bring some other things to that spark to make the flame grow and to make the flame sustainable. Sometimes I have to blow on it, right? We add oxygen. So in the same vein, relate is about bringing other things in. Now maybe it's a text that you're going to study this year, that you're going to go deeper, right? We say take a text, any text, and go deeper, paraphrasing Pema Chodron, right? Something that's going to help sustain the spark of the thrill. Yes? Relate. And then there's repeat. Repeat is so very important. Here at CSC, one of our guiding principles or part of our mission and purpose statement is to embody unconditional love. And so part of what that means is the repetition, or as I've been sharing with the 90 Days to Greatness class, grace is built in. You need to make sure that there's enough space and then there's enough grace and there's enough time to make mistakes, to run a little bit, fall, pick yourself up, dust yourself off, keep moving forward. Repeat, giving yourself time to rest, right? We don't grind and we don't hustle. Rest and then keep moving forward. But it's so incredibly important to know that you're not going to get it on the first attempt, right? You're not supposed to be some deep, metaphysical master in 2021, right? So don't even put that on yourself. Give yourself grace, because it's through repetition that we develop habits. Napoleon Hill writes about this idea in terms of the repetition of affirmations. It's the only known way for a human being to start to impress the subconscious mind, and then that ultimately, eventually, outpictures as events and experiences in our lives, but with repetition. And so we bring ourselves, this is why daily spiritual practice is not an option, repetition. But there's enough time, there's enough grace, there's enough days, there's enough weeks that if you miss it, you don't beat yourself up. You forgive yourself, you set yourself free, and you move on. And then finally, reframe. It's important that you are practicing, and definitely as a community, we are always doing this with and for you, to reframe how you're looking at a situation. Sometimes we come to a place of awareness and recognition that we are telling ourselves a story about ourselves or about someone else or about a circumstance or experience that may actually not be true. And so one of the things that's important is that we learn to reframe it. This is essentially, in some ways, without oversimplifying it, this is what new thought is and means. Think a new thought. This is why we love and teach and share the work by Byron Katie, because it's a powerful process in reframing. This is why we love and we teach the powerful forgiveness process that has come to us through Colin Tipping, radical forgiveness and radical self-forgiveness, because it is a loving, meaningful way. And I think we went in a sermon some months or weeks ago, really going through what those things are all about. Oh, I know it was we were talking truth and reconciliation, right? In that sermon, talking about truth and reconciliation and recognizing that there must be truth. You got to tell it as it is, and then you can move to the reframing, seeing it differently, right? And so the reframing is incredibly important. Relate, repeat, reframe. Those three elements are necessary in order to maintain the thrill of hope and then to grow that thrill of hope into something that is a sustaining fire, to grow it into something that is a tree that is now sustaining and sustainable, that it now gives of itself and produces fruit, and that fruit can produce more seeds and more fruit. So as you're preparing for the new year, look at how your life is set up now. Look at the plans that you're making for your new year, and look at how you're thinking about the new year. Hope is good. Hope is wonderful. Again, I've been sitting in the thrill of hope today, and it feels so good. But if I only sit in the thrill of hope, it's going to fade out. I have to add something to it. I have to relate. I have to repeat. And I have to reframe. And so in just a few minutes, PY and I are going to take you through an exercise that will be important in supporting you in making use of these steps. And I would say really the reframing step, but also the repeating step. We're going to support you in creating a B statement that is rooted in a few questions. So just give us a second here. Grab your pen and paper, and we are going to talk to you a little bit about this exercise, and then support you in doing this thing. All right, let's go back. All right, beautiful. So this B statement exercise, it's based on a question that came forward in March of this year as we were just beginning to deal with, and many were freaking out because of what was taking place with the pandemic. And Pastor Yolanda reminded us of something very powerful. She asked us this question.
Who do I want to be in 2021?
Right. And the context was, who do I want to be when this is over, when the pandemic is over? And so what we want to do is take this question and apply it to 2021. Now, why is this question important, BY?
Because we need to establish in our minds and in our experience who we want to be, not what we want to do. Who we are going to be, the attributes, how we're going to live, connected to source going forward in the future. Emily Cady talks about doing is secondary to being. It's secondary. If we are in our beingness, if we are connected to the truth of ourselves, if we are connected to our source, everything that flows from that flows from beingness. Everything that we create flows from being. The doing comes as a result of how we're going to be. And so I'm not interested in just the action-oriented, what I'm going to do. I'm not interested in only what kind of resolutions can I make. I'm deciding how my life is going to proceed based on my connection and the truth of who and what I am. That is the thing that guides me. That is going to be my North Star. Who do I want to be in 2021? That requires the hope that we've been talking about. It requires a level of knowledge that we're also going to bring in. Not from our past thinking of what we should do, but from the truth of us that knows who we are and how and what we're going to be. The power, the force, the energy. the example, the light that others will follow.
Yes, yes. And so, oh, I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. And so, another way we can expand this question: who do I want to be in 21? What qualities do I want to embody and express? Because we recognize that these qualities, they could be adjectives, they can be verbs. These are the things that then outpicture as what it is that we want to manifest, right? Being outpictures as all of the things. Mm-hmm. Behind everything is a beingness, right? Whether you knew it or not, right? It's a consciousness. And so if you can get clear and I don't know why I'm seeing like a radar, right? Like if you could just hold that in your sights and make that your target, right? The things are inevitable. This is what our elder brother Jesus was talking about in Matthew 6. Seek ye first the kingdom, right? Which is within. So it would have to be about being. You ain't got stuff within you. Things aren't within you. Money, house, cars, sexy humans, right? I mean, right? Those things aren't inside of you, right? But the kingdom is within. So the beingness, what are those qualities? Those beautiful, beneficial, and constructive qualities? Because those are the things that outpicture.
We're going to take a pause and let you write. Now, write from stream of consciousness.
We're not there yet.
Don't, we're getting there, but as we move to that place of writing about these things, remember that these are qualities, these are attributes. They're not, I'm going to get $100 million. I'm going to be the abundance that is and supports all things, for example.
Yes, yes. And so we recognize that being extends beyond what we possess. We're taking our hearts and our minds off of things and bringing it to the qualities, to the internal, right? So here are your instructions. What does this look like? Okay? You're going to create a list of being words. We're going to give you time to just write as many words as you can identify. These words are usually adjectives and verbs. Now, we also recognize that many times as you begin to think about beings or who you want to be, you're probably going to hear, I don't want to be this. I don't want to be broke in 2021. Right? I don't want to be single in 2021.
Right.
Or I can't, I can't be what I want to be, or I can't have these things. Okay? Turn those around. Anytime you hear I don't want, that's actually telling you what you do want. So the opposite of that thing, right? Mm-hmm. Anytime you hear I can't, turn that into an I can. What I can be this thing. I can express this thing. I can demonstrate this thing. Okay? And we'll give you about 5 minutes, maybe 10. And then once we call time, look at those words. And we're going to have you circle your top 5 words. After you circle your top 5 words, then you can take those words to write an affirmative statement for 2021, okay? We have some examples, but I think we should give you time to write, and then we'll show you the examples. Excuse me. If you feel like you have a lot of words coming, or maybe not a lot of words coming, you have the rest of the evening to continue the exercise, or even through tomorrow. But we are going to give you some time to do that now, okay? 5 minutes.
5 minutes goes
very,
fast.
very quickly. And so we know that many of you may be still writing, and that's cool. If your being words are just flowing and flowing, let them flow, right? But once the flowing has ceased, then you want to circle your top 5 words. So I put together 2 quick examples for you to look at. But before the examples, so once you have your affirmative statement, your B statement now becomes your B attitude.
It's the thing that you repeat, repeat, repeat. It's the thing that guides what you do. It's the thing that guides your yeses. It becomes, as I said, that North Star. It becomes the statement. It becomes your affirmation for the year. It becomes your way of deciding yes and no. It is the thing that develops the attitude that this is possible.
Exactly.
I am this, I will be this, and this is my attitude.
Yes. So now you can see how this will support you in embodying the 3 R's of relating, repeating, and reframing. So here's just an example, right, that I just pulled out of the ether, right? So top 5 words: abundant, loving, joyful, innovative, and powerful. And so then the affirmative statement could be, every day in every way, I am becoming more abundant, more loving, and more joyful as I innovate and demonstrate my unique divine power. Now, one of the things that I did in writing that, and you can use this in your own statement, the idea of becoming the things, right? Versus you might not really be able to embrace or believe, I am this thing right now, but it actually helps you to receive it a little easier when you say, I am becoming these things. So I encourage you to use that term, that way of thinking about it, because I think that'll help it stick for you. Okay. Now, the other example is an example that's very familiar to all of you, because our mission statement at CSC is based on 5 words: awaken, celebrate, embody, equip, serve. And so the affirmative statement for Celebration Spiritual Center is Celebration Spiritual Center awakes the world to the presence of God in and all around us, celebrates this truth as one family, embodies unconditional love, equips humanity to live our greatest lives, and serves all creation. And for the past 7, soon to be 8 years, this has been the North Star of CSC. It's the thing that whatever is coming up, there are wonderful ideas and things come up even for ourselves or are presented to us. If they do not align with who CSC is seeking to be, we don't do it.
And it's so true. We do not.
We don't.
And, all kinds of opportunities present themselves to us individually, to CSC as an organization. If it does not align with this statement, we do not do it.
Yes.
And we are not in fear that if we don't do it, we are missing out. Because we have determined, based on our connection to this beingness, where CSC is going, what we're going to be and therefore do. If it does not align, we don't do it.
Yes.
It makes life easier. There's no second guessing. There's no worrying that you missed out on opportunities. The universe is responding to your beingness.
Yes. And so New Year's Eve 2012, this is what Pastor Yolanda and I were standing in. These 5 words and this mission statement, knowing that this is what we were taking into the new year. Before there was a location, before we knew most of you, before there were doors open, before there was even an invitation sent out saying, hey, we're having our first service on March 31st, 2013, there was the who do we want to be? And that was, of course, rooted in visioning, right? What is seeking to emerge, and through an as this, what must we become, right? And this will continue to be the North Star for CSC. And what's fascinating to me is to really see how CSC is these things. Is that correct? Yeah. Okay. Are these things?
Are these things? is organization is yeah.
Right, but how the organization really outpictures these, right? The awakening, the celebrating, the embodying, the equipping, and the serving. And so we share this as an example as something that works, because as PY always says, do as we do, not as we say.
Yeah, we don't make resolutions. That's a little inside information. We don't make resolutions. We create either a word that will guide us or a be statement that will guide us. Resolutions can be easily picked up and dropped. If you align yourself with the truth of who and what you are, it will carry you through the good times, the dark times, the uncertainty, and through and with hope.
Absolutely.
We don't make resolutions.
Nope.
We're very honest about that. Not that you can't, it's just that this is a more effective way to speak your truth and have it manifest.
Yes, yes. So again, take the time. If you're still working on words, or you really want to wordsmith your affirmative statement, don't overthink it, right? Really allow it to come forward, and you're connected to a genius mind. So let the genius mind write through you. Know that God is holding your hand in the pen. All of those good things, and allow this statement to become your beatitude for the year, right? And this is something that you definitely want to repeat. And this is something that will support you when you need to reframe.
Right. And you want to put it everywhere.
Yes, yes.
Until it becomes second nature, until there's no second guessing, until you remember that you are connected to the very thing that you are expressing. The universe is saying yes.
Yeah.
So who do you want to be?
Who do you want to be?
Who do you want to be? The universe is always saying yes. Never no, never maybe, never you're not good enough. Never, I wish you would have said it another way. It's always saying yes. So you be clear with your attitude, your be attitude of who and what you're going to be about.
Yes, yes. Yes, yes. And I think I didn't mention it in the other, you probably saw it there in the other slide, but feel free to post your affirmative statement. You can post it online. You can tag us, any of social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. We would love to see it. And for those of you that do tag us, of course, then whether you tag us or not, we're holding that, right? We're holding that knowingness. We're holding that high vibration, because that's just the way we always hold things as it relates to each and every one of you. The highest and best only. That's all we will ever see. Not that we don't, we're not holding you to some standard. That's different. Please hear that. We're not holding you to some kind of standard that you're supposed to act a certain way or live a certain way. We're saying that we see God in, through, and as you. We know that you're God's good idea, right? And so we continue to hold that and know that every moment, every day of your life is a continuing unfolding of that good godness as you.
It just occurred to me that in March, when we were teaching the Thrive series, that it feels fitting that we would end in this way this year, in a teaching mode, in a supporting mode, in a crafting mode, in the energy of intention mode. We want to see your be statements. We want to see you picture yourself with a be attitude.
Yeah, yeah.
Because we know the truth of you, and we know that your latter will be greater.
Yes, yes.
We know it. We never doubt it. We never doubt you. We will continue to hold you in the light of truth.
Yeah.
And we will continue to be the community that is here for you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exciting. And I pray that this is something for each and every one of you that just meets you right where you are and is right on time. And that you can incorporate it into whatever else you're doing as it relates to the new year. So we're almost out of time.
Oh, wow.
But it is time for giving. And for those of you that are joining us for the first time, and for those that are hearing this for the 100th time, y'all know what it is, right? We give what feels good. And why do we say that, right? It's counter to what you may hear other spiritual organizations say. Give what feels good. Why? Because we recognize that there is a law of giving and receiving. It's always working. But if we're giving from a place of duty, if we're giving from a place of shame and guilt, or I don't want people to talk about me, or, I need to give, I know I'm supposed to give, all of that kind of energy, then that's what we're actually going to reap, because that's what you're sowing. And so that's why we're saying give what feels good. Find your joy number, and that's what you give, right? It's the end of the year. Many of you may want to do your year-end giving. Today is the last time to do it for you to get credit on your taxes, if that's something that you choose to do. We'll be talking about it in the coming year. As we talk about giving what feels good, you may want to pledge to give $1,000 in the new year. And that seems like a lot. Like, oh my God, $1,000 a year for the whole year, right? That's $83.33 a month, right? So it's technically not a lot of money when you start to break it down that way, right? But if that's something that you can feel good about, like, I know that I'm supporting this organization. I know that I'm supporting, hundreds of thousands of people around the world that are also benefiting from who and what CSC is, then do that, right? Whatever that amount is, whatever that number is, it must be attached to joy. Must be attached to joy. And when it's attached to joy, then you can really live in the vibration of this affirmation that we affirm each and every week. Now, we affirm that as I give, I receive. Yes, it's all coming back to me. That's true. If you were given weeds, right?
I thought you were saying something.
If you were given weeds, right? Then weeds would grow in your garden, right? It's all coming back to you. Right? But we recognize that when we give joy, it's all coming back to us. So then we affirm this powerful statement. All the money that I use.
All the money that I use.
Returns to me multiplied.
Returns to me multiplied.
In a never-ending cycle.
In a never-ending cycle.
Of increase.
And
enjoyment.
Which
is very important. We want to enjoy life. We want to enjoy this thing, right? And so you see all the information here on your screen. You can give... Go to our website, celebrationsc.org/give and give there, or you can text to give 347-744-9500. There is a $10 minimum to give. So as we shared earlier, we are going to do a Zoom toast. That'll be at 9 o'clock. So we're going to take a little break, right? Give you a chance to get yourself together. Or, get a plate even, which I might do.
We might get a plate.
Between now and 9, right? And then get your beautiful glasses, and your stemware, and whatever your beverage is. Hopefully it's something that's bubbly and sparkling, right? Whatever that looks like. And we are going to toast in the new year. As we talked about last year, we toasted in the year of yesing. And it's interesting to me because when we think about it, if you were in the vibration of yes this year, I'm sure much of the year felt pretty good. Why? Because the opposite of yesing is knowing, N-O -ing. And what that means is that you would be in resistance to life. Right? Spiritually, we understand that we must live in non-resistance. Some things came forward that we didn't want to welcome in. But if we pushed against it, right, as some have done around the country in different ways, they're only creating more pain for themselves, right? And so the year of yesing, not realizing it, was very important. Saying yes to what is here, and then saying nothing but good can come from this. Saying yes to what is here, welcoming it in, and watching it transform, and watch it transform us. So now we take this thrill of hope into the new year, right? And how are we gonna transform in that way? So we will see you all at 9 p.m. for the toast. If you're not going to join us for the toast, all good. We will see you on Sunday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we will begin a new month and a new series. We have some wonderful things in store for you. I said series, and Siri heard me, right?
Siri is on the job. Oh.
Right, see? So we love you all. Please have a wonderful and safe evening, however you're choosing to ring in the new year. I know some people just go to sleep, so you might not even be up with the ball drops. But however you choose to celebrate the rest of the night, know that we love you and we look forward to being with you in 2021.
Absolutely. And for those that will not be here with us for the toast, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
I can't wait to hear who you're going to be. And how you're going to show up and how the universe is going to respond to you.
Absolutely. All right. We love y'all. Bye for now.